Hello, I'm Edu from Edu for Java. This is the Android tutorial number 8. We are going to see we are going to store data in SQLiter. Okay, we are going to work with the Android tutorial 4 that we were working in the past tutorials. Let's run the application in order to remember what this application do. Okay, we have first a form with title, author, and ISBN. In title we can put World Wide Web, author Edu, yes, as always, and this ISBN. Here we have the second activity that receive the message, and we can see inserción exitosa del libro and World Wide Web, Edu, and the number. Here there is a new, I put new lines. You can see here a new line, just to improve this. Okay, if you remember, this was a form that sent some data, book title, book author, and ISBN, to the result, that is this class. On create, we get the data from the intent, and then we print the message here, but we do nothing with the data. We do not store the data, but we are going to store the data now in SQLiter. Okay, this is a class that I have already prepared. It's database helper that extend SQLiter open helper. There is a class that is going to help us to handle the problematic about create and upgrade SQLiter database. Okay, as we talk about, SQLiter is a simple database that works with a file. This file, if we have this file created, automatically SQLiter create a new database with this name that we put here, database name. SQLiter Open Helper is going to create a new database with this name. In order to create this helper need to know what have to create. In onCreate method, we can put the sentence, all the SQL we need to create the tables, indexes, maybe some initial data that we want for our database library, DB. In this case, I only need the table books. Then it's easy for me. I just put here the create statement for the table, and I define an ID integer. Really, this is a standard for SQL Open Helper. As primary key, auto increment, and here I put 3 fields, text fields that are mine: title, author, and ISBN. Okay. On upgrade method is for if when you change your version, the database version, in the constructor here you indicate 1 as a version of the database, and this is going to be stored in the DB file, in the database file. And when you change the version, for sure you need to change the database. The on upgrade method is called when you change the version from 1 to 2, like here, and is going to execute this code. what do you need for this code? We are going to drop we are going to log the fact that we are creating the database. We are going to drop the table books if exist, and we are going to call on create database again in order to create the new database with the with the change that we get from one version to another version. Now we have database helper ready. We are going to result activity, and we are going to try to save the data in the database. We are going to call a method insert book and send the book title, the book author, and the book ISBN in order to save this data in the database. We put this just before the result text set text that show the text. Okay, here I paste insert book. I make the imports with Ctrl+Shift+O, and the insert book method have received as a parameter the title, the author, and the ISBN. And then I create a database helper, a new database helper, sending this as a parameter. This is the context, always the context. And I get the database calling get readable database. I can choose readable database too, but in this case I want to write, then I get this. Yes, I make insert. With the DV I make an insert, and I say in the table books as a first parameter. Then I put the column that I'm going to receive null if there is a problem trying to insert. And the third parameter is a content value. This is like this is a hash map where we are going to put the keys are going to be the name of the columns, and the value is going to be the value we want to store in this field. For example, in title here, I'm going to store the title parameter. There isn't the title parameter. This database helper title is a constant that we define with the names of the fields in the table. The columns on the table, these are the names. Then, as you can see here, the names. Here I have to remark that this database name is really important because SQLite Open Helper is going to use this constant to create the actual file. Then this name is going to be the name that the file is going to get. Okay, let's go here. This is the name of the column, this is the value. This is the name of the author column, value, and with the SVN the same. We create the content values, that is the hash map, and we use this to send the data in the dv.insert. When we finish, we close, and that's all. Let's run it in order to see if everything is working. Okay. Here we have the application. The title is World Wide Web. The author is, as always, Edu. And the ISBN is any number. I send it, and here we finish with the message. Let's see if we have the database created. This is an Android perspective that we can find here, DDMS, and in this perspective there is a view. We can find the view here File Explorer, and inside data we go and check data, and inside we are going to see edu for Java Android tutorial 4, and this is our library. It's just created here inside the database folder. Okay, we can check here. Library DB is the name we put, and if we go to a command line, let's go to the place where we install the SDK. We are going to get into tools and try to get into the Linux executing ADV shell. Now we are in the Linux console, and we are going to try to get into the SQLittle that we just create. Is in data edu for Java Android tutorial 4 inside the database, and the name is library DB, as you can see here. Now we press enter, and we are inside SQLittle shell. Then we can put here select from books, and we get here is the data that we just put in the form, as you can see. And if we repeat the process and put TCP, another book, that is, the author is Eli, and just another number, we press add, and we check again the database, and we can see there are another record here with Elif. Okay, we learn how to store data in SQLittle. Not in the best way, because the use of a content provider is better, but we are going to see content provider in another tutorial. Okay, see you.